So guys, my mind is just so confused right now because I've made some really hard decisions, but I really just had to be very honest with myself and tell myself what I like, what I don't like, why I use a particular smartphone. So last year, I bought the iPhone 10 and it has been my daily driver ever since. I did buy the Galaxy S9 Plus, but I actually never used it as my daily driver. I just made videos here and there, like on the camera, on Fortnite, on like the USB dongle, but I never did a full review, and I never ever put my SIM card in it because the iPhone 10 was the first iPhone like I really fell in love with, and then at that point I really got intertwined into the ecosystem, like iMessage, AirDrop, iCloud, stuff like that. And combined with the fact that I have an iMac, it makes having an Apple device very easy. But I kept telling myself like that I was being too closed-minded. Like I'm a tech channel. I need to review Android phones too. So I got the Note 9, and honestly, like it's been a really great phone, but it's just kind of felt a little empty. Like we all use our phones for the same thing for the most part. Social media, take pictures, phone calls every now and then, sending text messages. So I have my iPhone 10 right there and the Galaxy Note 9 right there. They both do that great. But it's like the little extra things that makes us really appreciate our phone. So the first thing when I went to the Note 9, obviously you have to turn off iMessage, which to a lot of people isn't a big deal, but it's crazy how big a deal iMessage is. The moment you turn off iMessage, everyone that you talk to will start complaining that you're a green bubble, which that's different, but I can see the benefits of iMessage. When I moved to the Note 9 and Android, if I'm part of really big group messages, like 10 people, the messages just get lost every now and then. When you send a text message, it doesn't go over like data like Wi-Fi, it'll go over your cell signal. So if you have a very limited reception, or other people in the group have limited reception, they may just like lose the text. Whereas iMessage, it can go over Wi-Fi easily. And I feel like iMessage is more reliable on getting messages where they need to go. So that's the first thing that I noticed with the Note 9. I actually had to install Facebook Messenger for some people just because sending text messages is so bad. Like if you send someone a picture or a video, it gets compressed so much. Whereas with iMessage, the pictures always look good uncompressed, the video looks good uncompressed. Like if you don't have an unlimited data plan, you can use a lot of data on iMessage alone. Like trust me, I've done it before. So iMessage, one big reason why I'm going back to iOS. So another thing is AirDrop. So if you don't have like an iMac, or if you don't have an iPad, or if you don't have friends that you send data to, AirDrop doesn't really matter. But for me as like a tech YouTuber, AirDrop is so big. If I'm making a video, like sometimes I'll just want to record random clips on my phone where the quality doesn't have to be perfect, and I'll AirDrop it to my iMac, and I could AirDrop like a 10-minute video really quick, and before you know it, it's imported into my timeline. If I use my Galaxy Note 9, it's just a big hassle to import video into the iMac, whereas the iPhone can do it wirelessly and really quick. Like it's not like Bluetooth speeds of transfer. It is like it uses Wi-Fi or something, and it's really quick. It's amazing. And then also just having iCloud. Obviously, I know that there are other options with Android. You can use Dropbox, so it works for everything. But I just like how iCloud just like integrated into the OS. I can use it on my iMac, and it's integrated into the OS. I pay monthly for one plan, and I can use it on all my devices. I can share my notes. I can share my pictures. I can share my music. So I can basically put notes on the computer and then see them on my phone, or I can put notes on my iPad, use the Apple Pencil, and then see them on my phone. It's just this big ecosystem that unless you had all the devices, like you really wouldn't be able to understand or value it. And then last but not least, as part of this ecosystem, is the Apple Watch. So as of right now, I haven't been using an Apple Watch because just the fact that I'm going like in and out of different Android devices. But now that I'm going back to iOS, I'm probably going to get the Apple Watch, the fourth Apple Watch. It's kind of cool that they finally updated it. It's got less bezel, so that's really cool there. But as far as the Galaxy Note 9, like a reason I don't, the reason I'm selling it is all of those reasons. Like it just isn't integrated with iOS and macOS and that whole ecosystem. And the fact is, like, there was one point in my life where I used Android and I used Windows and I hated iOS users and Mac users. I just thought they were just like sheep. You know, they just did whatever Apple told them to do and they did it. But as a content creator, I looked into the iMac for Final Cut Pro, and I'll tell you, like, a $2,000 machine just for Final Cut Pro is worth it. It makes video editing so easy. It's very optimized. I can finally edit like 4K stuff super easy. It exports great. So that is kind of the fault at hand that got me into the whole ecosystem. Also too, like if you're using iMessage, you can use it on all your devices. So I can like text people from my computer as I'm working, and I'm using my keyboard, so it's much faster than picking up my phone. As long as all of my friends have iMessage, it works just fine. So like everyone I work with, most people have iMessage. My boss has iMessage at work. My friends have iMessage. My family. Like my family has a group message that's full of like 10 people, and they all have iMessage. And the moment I switched to Android, they noticed, and basically it just decreases the quality of the whole conversation, which again, it's ridiculous and stupid. That's how it works. Like text messaging needs some type of update in this 21st century. But right now, the sad fact is iMessage is just really good, and there's just nothing to compete with it, simply because the adoption rate. Like there's apps out there, I'm sure, that are better than iMessage, but the fact that people have iMessage by default when they get an iPhone, like the everyday user, the basic user is going to have iMessage, and that's the important part. Like you can't convince your grandma to download, you know, Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or anything like that. It's just there and it works, and that's why it's successful. And guys, I've really kind of trained myself to stay away from the Apple fanboy and Android fanboy thing. I legitimately was an Android and Windows fanboy. But now that I've experienced Android for years and years, and I've now experienced iOS and macOS, and I've gone back to Android, and now I'm going back to iOS, like I know what works for me, and I can honestly tell you one system isn't better than the other. It's just they have their pros and cons. Like Android is so customizable. You can customize it however you want. The file system is so much more advanced. It's more like a computer where you can kind of access files. iOS is more locked down. You can't really customize it much, but it's really what you value. Like to me, like if I'm gonna be super honest with myself, I don't really customize my phone much. And I don't really do anything too advanced that would warrant needing like, you know, like deep file access on my phone. And that was kind of the problem. When I was an Android fanboy, I would always say, oh, you can customize your phone, you can do this, you can do that, you can play, you know, like ROMs on it, you can do this, but I never really did it. Whereas with like iOS, I just love the integration. I could care less about customization. I love how my iMessage is everywhere. I love how AirDrop works. I love iCloud everywhere. Just the Apple experience is just unique in itself. Like when you unbox their products, they all just feel very premium. Like you know it's going to be a premium product, even though you are paying an Apple tax. Like I will not lie, the iPhone XS Max is ridiculously priced, but it's kind of, you get what you pay for. Like you're paying not just for the on-paper specs, you're paying for that software experience, you're paying for that integration with all these devices, you're paying for long-term updates, you're paying for the value of the device holding better than any other phone. Like there's a reason iPhones keep their value longer, because they're more relevant for the years to come. So as of right now, consider me a long-term iOS user. Just please don't hate me. Please realize everyone can like whatever they want. Just respect them for what they like. Know what you like, and we can just coexist. I'm always going to be open to checking out Android devices, but as far as like my daily driver type of thing, I feel like if I switch my daily driver to Android in my current state of mind and thinking, it's not going to be a good experience, and I'm not going to provide a 100% honest review. So I may eventually get another SIM card so I can carry an Android and an iOS device, but as of right now, my main SIM is going to be iOS for the foreseeable future. So next week, I'll be unboxing my iPhone XS Max. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm not used to the whole naming scheme because they are ridiculously named. That is all I gotta say about that, guys. Just a very simple video for you today. Nothing edited, nothing too crazy. Just talking one-on-one. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel because I'll be doing the iPhone unboxing next week. See you later. Bye.